Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
Hello, hello, hello. I hope everybody is doing well today. I'm sorry, not sorry that I'm late. Take that as you may. Lori, you're back. Love it. Glad to see it. It is a wreck me week, you guys. Absolutely wrecked in many different ways. Some that I can share now, some we will share later. But it's Friday night, and some of you have a weekend coming up. How exciting is that? Woo! Get some weekend juice flowing, shall we? Oh, MB, I want to say thank you so much in the PP. I appreciate you. Seriously, thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, I was rolling a joint and smoking a joint and listening to music before we started this thing. You're about to book. Sorry, you're about to cook a hamburger. Obviously. I am feeling a bit better. I am, I think that is makeup and hair. It's amazing what it does. It's amazing. Also, it's guys' night here. You can probably hear that. I'm not sure if you can or not. I'm sure you will. There's multiple bottles of vodka on the go. They literally just tried to get me to go run and get them ice. I was like, are you fucking nuts? No. So again, wreck me week. Let's start with, I'm drinking coffee and water today. Tell me what you're drinking. You bought half a cow. I'm assuming it's dead already. Be fucking weird if it wasn't. Tell you that much, Lori. It'd be fucking weird if it wasn't. I think I'd be more concerned if you had a live half a cow than a dead one. But you know what? I am on, hippie island. So we don't, well, actually we do have cows around here. Jim! Yay! Thank you so much. Actually, MB, I owe you a thank you. Do. And one for MB too. Hold on. Where is it? I just had it. That one was for MB. Thank you. Make sure gifting is turned on, guys. Gift Sunday. Oh, front or back? No. Do you know? My dad is a butcher, actually, or was a butcher as his trade. So I'm not even that weirded out by a cow. Do we get milk by the half gallon? No, we get milk by the liter, Bill. The liter. You can buy 1 liter of milk. You can buy half a liter of milk, 500 milliliters. You can buy 2 liters. They come in a carton here. You can buy a 2-liter jug or a 4-liter jug, which is basically a gallon. 3.7 liters is a gallon. We don't do milk in bags on my side of Canada. At least haven't since I was a child. They used to, but not lately. Yeah, sodas by the liters. Yeah, we don't. You guys know I married the milkman, who got married yesterday again, by the way, guys. Part of my Wreck Me week. That part I don't really care about really high. But and hi, Miss Iowa. Yeah, you're camping out. I saw that. You got an air mattress. Oh my gosh. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I almost always sleep on a couch. Like pretty much standard sleep on a couch. Milk in bags, yes. And then are our eggs irradiated? Pardon me, I don't know what that means, Courtney. I know that we have the same sort of situation as you do in the States, where your eggs have to be kept in the refrigerator. In Canada, unless you get farm fresh eggs, you're going to want to keep them in the refrigerator as well, because they are washed. They'll be washed. Oh, Colin Raid, welcome Raiders. Hope everybody's doing good. MB, there is still milk delivery available on the island that I live on. And one of the jobs that I used to have, I've had many jobs, many jobs. One of the jobs that I used to have, they bought milk for everybody that worked there. I was always confused, but they stocked the fridge with every type of milk you could think of. Creamer, skim milk, 1%, 2%, homo, all the milks. And this was an office. It was an engineering office. And I was the executive assistant to the boss. And I remember asking him, like, well, we're spending a lot of money on milk. Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah. And the guys come in early and they sit and they eat their cereal and they're talking about work and that's cheap. I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. When we're looking at hourly rates of engineers and they, are coming and having breakfast every day because there's milk provided, I figured it out. He was like, it's a very small amount. And that is where I also heard one of my favorite sayings, which is, be careful bending over and picking up pennies while $100 bills fly over your head. Milk can come in bags on the West Coast where I live, but it does, in some parts of Canada, come in bags. And you basically snip the corner off the bag, put it into a jug, milk jug, and then you would pour from that. They are usually in 1 liter things. I did say homo. Oh, I'm totally we're very over. I have my pansexual flag over there. Legal fiction. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Everybody, make sure that members that you've turned on gifting, please. Oh my God, I just hit the wrong button. Do. Thank you so much. Members only is on Sundays. Make sure that gifting is turned on. Thank you. Fun fact, if you go to Mars as things stand, your eggs will be irradiated. Anyways, my whole point about that was be careful bending over picking up pennies while $100 bills fly over your head. That boss taught me, he said, oh, the small price of milk and making my employees really comfortable here and feeling really, like home, cheap. And It's true. It's true. Yeah, it is different. It is different. Good eye. Oh yeah. That I've heard hay season is crazy. Okay. So my voice is still a little bit scratchy. So we're gonna get going. We have Judge Bronlick today. I got a bunch of different hearings of his. We'll start with the first one as usual. I haven't seen any of them, so buckle up. Oh, and Hector sent me a video that we'll watch later too. I don't know if Colin already watched it. I'm sure he did.
He's there, he just doesn't have his business. You get rid of that. No, it's theirs. Don't just go over there.
Ready?
Yes.
Court will call the case of John Anthony Settles versus Christina Lynn Settles. For the record, this matter is before the court for a pretrial conference, the same as being conducted via Zoom. Are you John Anthony Settles?
Yes, sir.
Um,
Are you vaping in court, sir? How do we send videos? My email, I think, is in the chat. There's a command for it. Discord, email. What does DBG stand for on there? Deutschland Biker Gang. I don't know, actually. Allegedly, totally, I don't know. It seems a little overkill for me, like what he's wearing, but whatevs. That's a pretty big vapor that he was on there. What are those called? Tanks? I don't know. I my vape. Where's my pen? Whatever. Let's just press play.
Have you tried to reach out to Christina? I understand you've been separated since 2016, but if you don't get her to participate, you're gonna have to jump through some hoops or incur the expense of hiring an attorney, Mr. Settles.
Actually, I just found out she thought it was next month. She's dealing with a death in the family, according to what I've been told, and she's currently in the process of getting the Zoom and getting into the chat. She's still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Was what I was just told.
And if she has difficulty, we give her a phone number. She can she can appear by audio.
I have her phone number if you guys can dial that.
Oh, she's got to call us because we're on the record. I can't just call her on the phone. If you if you have a piece of paper and pen, you can write down her phone number. If she's having problems with maneuvering on Zoom.
Okay. How would she call the court?
Got a piece of paper and a pen?
How would she call the court? I'm gonna have to mute this so none of y'all fuckers call this court. Actually, I think that this court is actually pretty good about their Zoom room management, but it is a pet peeve of mine as somebody who has administrated large Zoom calls before with hundreds of people, and like ongoing meetings, etc. It gets me when I see a court posting like login information for a Zoom call. And yes, I did call y'all fuckers.
And we mailed out instructions, Mr. Dawson. We mailed out instructions other than we didn't put them in red.
Okay, I got it.
Do is read them.
I have it. Thank you. Give me one moment. See if I can transfer that over to her.
And we did her copy as well, so she'd have those.
Yeah, and she acknowledged that she did receive that as well. So let's see.
While he's doing that, I found a new channel, you guys, that I have been loving. Sorry, I heard somebody at the door. And the guy's sense of humor is so dry and so beautiful. Like, I love it so much. But he's doing really nice things in the video for the most part, but he intersperses it with like things like that, like, and you listen here, you fuckers, you'll go along and do that. And it just like, it's so jarring, and I love it so much. And he has like over 500,000 subs, but I've commented on a few of his videos lately, and he's hearted them. I love that. Can this lady hurry up, please? She wasn't planning on coming here for a whole month. Ooh.
All right, I
can't
just
figure out
sent
what
that
to-
number over to her as well.
What does it mean, DBG? I don't know. Dirty big guy. Dirty balls.
Can you
guy.
still hear me?
We
Yes,
can
I
hear you.
can.
Okay, thank you.
Douchebag Jerry.
Mr. Settles, you still reside at 9635 Douglas Road, Temperance, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, are you still receiving public assistance?
I am on disability, but I am not receiving any funds at the moment.
Okay, well, it looks like you're employed.
I am employed. Yes, correct.
Asking this, Mr. Sells, there's a $175 fine fee that needs to be paid. So that's something you need to discuss with Christina. If she's not willing to pay it, then you need to pay that. The taxpayer should have to pay the complaint filing fee. And that's gonna be part of any settlement here, the payment of $175. So I'm just giving you a heads up. And you can.
That's fine. If it needs to be paid, I got no issues with that.
Okay, again, you can pay cash. You got to come into the courthouse. You got to pay a lump sum. The other alternative, you can call the clerk's office and pay it with a credit card, but they're going to charge, I think, a 3% fee.
That's fine.
Okay, we'll give you the phone number for the clerk's office, and you can call them and tell them it's a filing fee. You got the case number there. Tell them it's on this case number. You got it on your paperwork there to pay the $175 filing fee. And we'll give you the direct number for the clerk's office, make it easy for you. Do you have a pen and a piece of paper there, Mr.?
I have the clerk's office number. That's not an issue.
Okay, all right. So, okay. Yeah. We got someone calling in. Well, if it's Christina.
Is it Christina calling in? Christina calling in? Christina calling in? Oh, taken by like musical. I don't know what the DBG stands for, you guys. I'm dying to find out. Also, the channel that I was talking about there is like a cleaning channel. The guy does cleaning, but he's autistic, and I just really I love his sense of humor so fucking much. Like he employs his kids. And he cleans hoarder houses, but he explains them in like the best way ever. And he anyways, what he does is his kids work with him, but he's just so funny. So he'll be like interspersing talking about like something serious. He'll be like, so this person suffers from a serious like, you know, mental disorder, and I feel bad for them, and that's why we're really gonna clean this stove over here. And you can see that I got Jason cleaning this stove, and I told him he needs to stop fucking crying and clean the goddamn. Well, I don't know if he swears like that, but I think he swears a little bit. I added in the swearing, but it's very good. I really enjoy it. Check it out. I'll find a link. I think it's called Midwestern Magic Cleaning or something like that. Midwestern Magic Cleaning. Yeah. Very good. Very good. And I also really like how he talks about his membership on his page. It's interesting. It's a really, really cool way that he's been doing things. So yeah, he roundhouse kicks stains and dirt. That's right. Steven, yes, you're right. I love it. I swear to God, it's so good. And it is pretty magical the way that he does. I haven't watched some of the videos are just too close from home. Like there's a few that are like how to clean somebody's house with ADHD, and I'm like, I don't need to know that yet. I want to work on looking at people that are hoarders because I'm not a hoarder. I do indeed have ADHD, so that one's going to be a little too close to home. I'm going to go ahead with watching the hoarders. It's like why I watch Criminal, right? It just makes me feel a little bit better. Speaking of, keep going.
Hello?
Yeah, so you Christina Settles?
Yes.
All right, the court will call the case of John Settles versus Christina Settles. This matter is before the court for a pretrial conference, the same is being conducted via Zoom. Plaintiff John Settles is present in audio. Defendant Christina Settles is present in audio. Ms. Settles, is your address still 3620 4th Avenue, Huntington, West Virginia?
Yes.
I just
Okay, good. We just want to make sure you got a valid address. The two of you have a 13-year marriage, but you've been separated for the past 8 years, since November 2016. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the court mailed to Mr. Settles as plaintiff a form judge trying to make things easy as possible. In the thing, Mr. Settles, I think you said you completed that, you sent that, you mailed that to Christina. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Ms. Settles, did you receive the form judgment of divorce? It's a 2-page fill in the blank form. Did you receive that?
Yes.
Okay, is there anything at issue? Do we have to, are we arguing over any property or any joint debts?
Negative.
What I have now, I got after we've already been split up.
Okay, I didn't quite understand that. Ms. Settles, is there any issues of dispute? Do we have are we arguing over a property or an outstanding bill?
Negative, sir.
Okay, what's preventing us from getting a judgment of divorce entered? Ms. Settles, you received the judgment from Mr. Settles, and have you gone through that? Do you have questions or problems with it?
So I received a paper that stated that we didn't have, that neither owned any property, and I was going to call in and try to find out what I should do, because since we had been separated, my father passed away and I inherited his home. So I didn't want to sign something stating that stated that I didn't own property when I do now.
Ms. Settles, we're talking, inheritance is something different. If you inherited it, it's not the marital property. The question is, do you have any marital property? Do you own a house together? Do you own bank accounts together? Do you have joint debts together?
No, sir.
This judge is so snippy, you guys. He's so snippy. Also, CYP, I know. I love it when I find people that have watched the same channels as me. Honestly, what made me even love, I think his name is Matt. Wait, what is his name? I don't know what his name is. I barely even, anyways, whatever the dude's name is, he made a joke and he referenced Post 10, who, as some of you may know, is another one of my favorite YouTube channels of a guy who takes apart beaver dams and unclogs fucking, what are those pipes? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so he made a Post 10 joke, and I was just like, oh yeah, like fucking yes. I get that. 100p. I love it. This is why I'm on YouTube. Like, this is what I love about YouTube, right? Yeah, culverts, a culvert. There it is. Yes. like those are such a vibe. Love it. And all of it is just such a vibe. I love it. I also really enjoy seeing channels do really well. So I love looking at a channel that's in a couple months or 6 months or whatever, getting hundreds of thousands of subs. Like, that is amazing. That's awesome. I'm so for it. So just love it.
No, sir.
And obviously, Mr. Settles, you're not looking for part of that inheritance, are you?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, sir.
The court asked John Settles whether he had any claim on your inheritance. He said no.
Okay. I'm sorry. It was a little hard to hear it.
Okay, so you need to look through that judgment. Do you want to walk through it with you together? I mean, if you have any questions about it, you just put, no, there's no joint debts. We don't own the real estate together. And you need to sign your name and date it to the bottom, and then get it back to Mr. Settles so he can return to the court. Until the judge signs that, you're not going to be divorced.
Okay.
And Mr. Settles' address is on the judgment. Ms. Settles, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Mr. Settles,
Yes,
you
we're here.
agree that there's nothing at issue, correct?
There is nothing at issue. All she should need to do is sign that document and send it back.
All right, Mr. Settles, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you do that like today or tomorrow while it's fresh in your mind rather than waiting a couple weeks?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
The
can
court's
send it.
under a
The mill's
duty
already
to
ran. I can send it
move
tomorrow.
these cases along. That's why the court scheduled us, because of when the case is sitting there. All right, so what the court's gonna do is take some brief testimony from both of you to establish there's no children, and Ms. Settles not now pregnant. And then all you gotta do is get that judgment to the court, Mr. Settles, when the court signs that, and you'll be divorced. Now, of course, the court will mail you out a copy of that, but you need to also, I'm gonna put language in the judgment. You're gonna pay the filing fee. When do you think you can pay that? Can you pay that by, or the end to pay that?
I could most likely get that sometime in the next 2 weeks.
If we gave it to May 31st, would that work?
You said May 31st?
Correct, that's 2 weeks from today, or do you need more time than that?
No, that should be fine.
All right, so I'm making a note here, and I'm gonna put that in the judgment. And so make a note, you can call the clerk's office, $175 filing fee on or before May 31st. If you can't do that, you call the court, and I'll give you a couple more weeks. Just don't blow it off. We blow it off, that's when bench warrants issue. We don't want to go there, Mr. Settles.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Settles, can you both please raise your right hand to be sworn, please?
Yes, sir.
You will solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. We'll start with you, Mr. Settles, because you're the plaintiff. You can you please again state your name for the record?
John Anthony Settles.
Thank you. Mr. Settles, is it true that you filed the complaint for divorce with this court on or about February 20th, 2024?
Correct.
Is it further true that on the date you filed that complaint, you had lived in the county of Monroe at least 10 days, and state of Michigan at least 6 months?
I'm sorry?
Is it true that on the date you filed that complaint, you had lived in the county of Monroe for at least 10 days, and state of Michigan at least 6 months?
This is a true statement.
Is it true that you married Christina Stapleton, now known as Settles, on November 19th, 2010? You separated in November of 2016.
This is correct.
Is it true there's been a breakdown of your marriage to the extent that the object of matrimony has been destroyed? There's no chance of reconciliation.
This is correct.
Were there any children born or adopted during your marriage?
Negative, sir.
Do you have any questions for the court?
I do not.
Ms. Settles, could you please state your name for the record?
Christina Lynn Settles.
Ms. Settles, did you hear the testimony this afternoon of your husband, John?
I'm sorry?
Miss,
Lisa, are you asking if I would smash her past myself or the dude DBG over here? Also, I was just thinking, obviously, I wasn't that bad of an ex-wife or a wife because my ex-husband got remarried yesterday. Congratulations to him. Truly, I'm being absolutely, truly serious about that. Congratulations to him. He's also had 2 more kids since we divorced. So he's winning on all fronts. Anyways, oh, I know. We have so many channels in common. So many channels. I love that when you guys have all the channels. Also, for him, an absolute pass. Absolute pass, Lisa. I like big, older men. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I have a weird thing. Oh, you mean my subscription list. You're so funny. Tuesday's gone in honor of these two breaking. I know, right? But I will say that I only got divorced last year, and or 2 years ago. I can't remember. But anyways, Miss Donna. Oh my goodness, more memberships. Thank you. Do. Love you so much. Thank you. We're gonna go. I've decided now, members only on Sunday is going to be, we're gonna do a little bit of everything, but we're gonna go through my subscriptions on YouTube, see which ones you guys have too. It's fun doing that. I love it. Thank you again, Donna. Thank you, girl. And then 2 more kids. Yes, I have one child who's almost 16. I had her when I was just 20. And but he has 2 more, including a baby that they just had. So he crazy, sort of like my dad. My dad has younger children as well. And thank you all. It was very 8-bit, Stephen. I think it is, in fact, 8-bit. It will be fun. So, Detroit bodyguards, are you shitting me right now? You know, Ed, if you just stick around at the beginning, I'm terrible at turning it on properly. But, yeah, I know, a new baby, right? I was like, oh, okay. But whatever. So he has 3 children now. And I love that for my daughter, because that means that she has a brother and a sister. I was so excited for her when she had a brother and a sister, even though neither of them are mine. I love them if I need to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really see them. I don't tend to go and hang out with my ex-husband. His choice, not mine. But like he was pregnant, like with his second baby. He like called me and told me about it, which I thought was funny. He didn't do that with this one, but I was like, oh, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. And I was just really excited. No, I love his new wife. She is a lovely lady, way out of his league. I told him that. And I told him to marry her quick after he divorced me. So smart of him to listen. And as always, I wish them the best. Detroit bodyguards. Crazy. Yeah, no, not a threesome. Definitely not. Oh my God.
Settles. Did you hear the testimony this afternoon of your husband, John?
Yes.
Was his testimony true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Are you currently pregnant?
No.
Do you have any questions for the court?
No.
Okay, so Mr. Settles has checked the different boxes in that judgment, and you see that, correct? And he has signed it at the bottom of page 2, is that correct? Ms. Settles? Are you still
Yes,
there?
sir.
Okay, it's a 2-page judgment. Mr. Settles has signed the bottom of page 2, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to sign your name next to that and date it. Then you need to mail it back to Mr. Settles so he can return it to the court. Once it's been submitted to the court will sign it, and you'll be mailed a true copy.
Okay.
And you can see on page 2, there's a blank if you want your former name of Stapleton restored to you. You see that?
I was going to actually ask, can I be put back to Legg, Legg?
Yes, you need to fill in that blank. Is your former
Okay.
name restored? You put in that name, And then when you get the judgment, you take to Secretary of State or Bureau of Motor Vehicles and Social Security, and that will facilitate the legal change of your last name. So I wanted to point that out to you, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for the court, Ms. Settles?
No.
Can you sign your name today and get it off in the mail in the next couple of days?
Yes, sir. I can have it in the mail tomorrow.
Okay. And Mr. Settles, when you see that, drop it off at the courthouse. Or on a weekend, if you're up here in Monroe, there's a drop box outside the court, so you can leave in that drop box. Put an envelope, put Judge Bronk on the outside.
This is correct.
So hopefully we'll get that sometime next week, and also again pay the filing fee, $175 on it before May 31st, Mr. Settles. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Settles?
I do not.
All right. Based upon the testimony that's been presented this afternoon, as well as the complaint filed in this matter, the court finds that jurisdiction has been established. Court further finds that there has been a breakdown of the marriage relationship to the extent that the obviously matrimony had been destroyed. There's no reasonable chance for reconciliation. Accordingly, upon the receipt of the consent judgment approved by both parties, the court will sign that judgment. And at that time, the court will order that the marriage between the parties be dissolved. The judgment shall enter granting a divorce from bonds matrimony. Unless either of you have any questions, I will conclude this hearing. You can both zoom out.
I have no questions, sir.
All right, Ms. Settles?
I have no questions.
All right, no need for you to appear again. Just get that judgment approved and signed. Get it back to Mr. Settles so we can deliver it to the court, please.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
Yes,
that
sir.
concludes, ma'am. You can both zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.
You as well, sir.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. I love when we catch them talking shit.
I saw them jump through some really hoops. I mean,
I fucking love it when we hear them talking shit. Okay, next. Let's get the next one. And try not to create frame while I do it. Oh, Vicky, I like your shirt, girl. Okay, let's talk about her brows because now they're better than mine. Shut up, Paisley. You don't have any room to be talking about other people's brows. Yeah, the judge is literally on 1.5 speed. I wonder if he ever jokes around, MB. I'm trying to recall. See, he has attorneys that he likes. And then, yeah, I sing along. I sing my life. I sing along to everything. Her brows are fierce. She absolutely did. But so did I. I tried to pencil mine in and fool this one. Which one is it? It's the one I can't raise. So it's this one I can raise. This one. This fucking useless eyebrow. Ugh. If only I could teach my eyebrow to raise at this age. I can't. Only this one. But this one I drew a little point into to like make it look like it's raised like that. Trying. And hey, I know that my eyebrows live in different area codes. They're like distant family members that don't know each other and look really different. So no fucking shade coming from me, Vicky, just so you know. Yeah. But P.S. I did used to do that same sort of winged eye thing, and I was told that it was like a little
So I'll just put that, I was gonna call it, but there. I'll
yeah,
do
let's do that. Okay, take over the controls.
Yeah. You want some here or you want some here? I'll sit here. Okay. So I can start one.
her eyebrows do, and it's because the way that you're supposed to do your brows, like you can see them. Like, oh no, my eyebrows are fucked up. They're off in different area codes. Seriously. This is all
the case of
Judge.
Alessandro Ortiz versus Vicky Johansson. For the record, this matter is before the court for a pretrial conference, the same as being conducted via Zoom. It appears that both parties are present. Mr. Ortiz and Ms. Johansson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Court is in receipt of a consent judgment of divorce, which is wonderful. Best resolution is one which you both participate and agree upon. Mr. Ortiz, Mr. Johansson, can you both please raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Do you both solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. We'll start with you, Mr. Ortiz, because you're the plaintiff. Can you please state your name and current mailing address for the record?
Alejandro Diego Ortiz. Current address is 474.
Thank you. Is it true, Mr. Ortiz, you filed a complaint for divorce with this court on about February 16th, 2024?
That is correct.
Is it further true that on the date you filed the complaint that you had resided in the Cutting Monroe at least 10 days, the state of Michigan at least 6 months?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, sir?
Is it further true that on the date you filed that divorce complaint, which was February 16th, that you'd lived in the County of Monroe for at least 10 days, the state of Michigan at least 6 months?
Yes, that is correct.
Is it further true that you married Vicky Johansson on July 24, 2021, you separated in January of 2024?
Correct.
Is it true there's been a breakdown of your marriage relationship?
Yes.
Have the objects of matrimony been destroyed?
I'm sorry?
Have the objects of matrimony been destroyed?
Is that referring to the rings or the, yes,
Marriage.
yes, it has.
Your marriage.
Yes.
The rings. The objects of matrimony been destroyed. I've never heard that before. Oh my goodness. Are they falsies? Cole? Are they falsies? Also, I was trying to be, okay, here's the thing. I actually like the wing eyeliner. I can't believe he just said, like, he's looking around like, oh fuck, I gotta destroy it. But I'm not gonna tell that story, but my sister, who's like a hairdresser and like really way better at makeup than I am, at Christmas gently told me, she's like, you know, Paisley, she bought me other stuff, and she's like, this would look really nice, and it is what I wear a lot more often. It's a little bit softer and not quite as winged, and I just line the like water line of my eye now with brown liner. But anyways, that was my sister was specifically helping me. So for me, my winged eyeliner is too much. Yeah, seriously, the judge, could you imagine, Steven, if we put him on fucking 2X? He would be flying down the road here. Flying down the road. Oh, gosh.
Is there any
Yes, sir.
chance for reconciliation, Mr. Ortiz?
No, sir, there is none.
Okay. Were there any children born or adopted during your marriage?
No, there was not.
And you signed your name to this proposed judgment approving the terms and conditions contained therein. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Mr. Johansson, can you please state your name and current mailing address, please?
Vicky Emily Johansson. My current address is 4.
Thank you. Mr. Johansson, did you hear the testimony of your husband this afternoon?
Yes, I did.
Was his testimony true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently pregnant?
No, I am not.
And did you also sign your name to this proposed judgment approving the terms and conditions contained therein?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm going to walk through the terms of this with both of you to make sure that we're on the same page. You've agreed that spousal support is not awarded, and that's forever barred. You've already divided your personal property, so this judgment provides that each is awarded the personal property currently in your respective possession, free and clear claiming part of the other. There are no joint debts to be divided. Each claim debts in their own name. Each will keep their own automobile. Actually, there's
Yes.
a vehicle addendum attached, and it indicates that the Mr. Ortiz is awarded the 2021 Buick Encore, and Mr. Hanson is awarded the 2018 Chevrolet Colorado. Each will pay any debt thereon, and hold the other harmless for any liability therefore.
Mhm.
There is also a debt addendum. It references that the defendant Vicky will pay a debt to Ally Financial, approximate balance $22,500. Is that debt
Yes,
just in
indeed.
your name?
That is currently in both of our names, but I will be changing it over, so it'll just be my name here shortly.
Okay, so there is a debt to be divided. So I'm going to modify his judgment. Debts are
It
divided
has
according
been
to the
my,
attached.
oh, sorry.
I should check the box and say debts are divided according to the attached debt addendum, which says you will pay the Ally Financial, because that's in both names, correct?
For now, I just have to refinance it to have him off of it. It's been my sole financial responsibility since we acquired the vehicle.
Okay. Well, I'm going to modify this and I'll initial it.
Okay.
There's only one joint debt, and that's the Ally. Is that on the vehicle?
Yes, indeed.
And you will pay that, and you'll also refinance to get Mr. Ortiz's name removed from that debt, correct?
Yes, it's an agreement that we both made.
Okay, there's no time frame, but the court will assume it's a reasonable time frame that you'll refinance it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and your credit is sufficient that they will refinance it in your own name.
Yes, my
Okay.
credit score is great. So
So then why didn't you do it already? As somebody who worked in the car business for quite a while, refinancing a car loan on the same car is actually not quite as easy as you might think it might be. Maybe it will be, but your asset is deteriorated a lot since you took out that loan. So you might be fucked on the APR.
it should be no problems whatsoever.
That is the only joint debt, correct?
Sorry, say that again?
That is the only joint debt.
Yes, sir.
Very well. There's no real property to be divided, and there's no pensions or retirement plans to be divided.
Mhm.
And that is it. Do you have
That
any
is it.
questions, Mr. Ortiz?
No, sir. You said there was, I think the only question you said there was no time frame on the refinancing, correct?
Correct. You did specify one in the judgment. So
Okay.
if it became an issue, the court would take the position that it's a reasonable time frame. So presumably that should be done within 60 to 90 days, Mr. Hanson, even though there's no time frame. If you didn't do that, Mr. Ortiz brought you back to court. That's how the court would interpret it, even though there's no specific time frame.
Mhm.
Okay.
So obviously, once your judgment of divorce, you want to start that process as soon as possible. Don't wait a couple months, because that's going
Yes,
to
sir.
affect the credit record of Mr. Ortiz in terms of borrowing other monies. And that the title to that vehicle is only in your name. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ortiz doesn't need to sign off the title or anything.
No, he
Oh, so he's already fucked. That's so bad. Sir. Why? Why? Why isn't he on title if he's on the loan?
should not know.
Okay. All right, Ms. Johansson, do you have any questions for the court?
No, I'm very good. Thank you.
Very well. Based upon the testimony that's been presented this afternoon, as well as the complaint filed in this case, court finds that jurisdiction has been established. Court further finds that there has been a breakdown of the marriage relationship to the extent that the opposite matrimony has been destroyed, and there appears to be no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved. Accordingly, it is ordered by this court that the marriage between the parties be and is thereby dissolved, and judgment shall enter granting a divorce from the bonds of matrimony. Judgment has been signed, a copy mailed to both of you. That will conclude this hearing. You can both zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. You as well.
Happy.
Welcome.
He looks sad. She looks happy as fuck.
Sir, can you make
She
two
doesn't have to
copies of
change
this?
shit. Who wants to? I shouldn't say. Oh, wait, let's listen to the judge talk some shit.
Thank you.
One little stool. No, well, look at this.
All right, let's find another one. Can't believe how much Creed framed today. I'm a little nervous, but it's been pretty good for us. So,
Yeah, I stopped.
also, when I worked at the bank, first of all, these two ladies always look the same to me. I know there's two of them, like literally, but in my head, it's like there's some weird conjoined court clerk twin that is like, because their hair is sort of the weirdness, and I don't know. When am my hair going blue? I don't know. I'm trying to grow my hair out so that I can dye it like this, basically. But my hair has been dyed so much that it would be, I need a color correction. So instead, I'm trying to grow it out so that I can just like start with shorter hair, and it'll just be my hair. But it's an ugly phase we're in. Ugly enough that I bought a wig.
Well, that's where it usually, maybe I would have this, I take it off. Okay, so I can do this, that, and then now I can get rid of it, right? Yeah. Okay. And I'll clean it, just, yeah.
If she's teaching her, by the way, she's been teaching her for fucking weeks, if not months.
She did the first one. Oh, you're right, you're right. Because if that doesn't. then-
I know the odds are negatory on that.
I kept the recording going. Okay. I just went, got out. Sometimes, you know, when you come through and other people are coming through, I just leave that. I just will take YouTube off, so in case we're talking about something that's on the safe side, but the other ones don't. I don't. Can I try something? Can I hit them at all? Sure, it should work. Do you hit that? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, you can, I just do.
Oh, MB, that reminds me of this story when I worked at this company, which I will leave nameless. Judge, shut up for a second. I'm telling a story. And somebody came into my office and they're like, hey, could you PDF this for me? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you need me to show you how to PDF the document? And they're like, you're the PDFer. And I was like, I'm happy to help you. Email me the item and I'll PDF it. And then it turns out that they wouldn't pay for everybody to have like an Adobe program, and they wouldn't allow you to use a free program. So people needed, and I don't know why they couldn't just use like the print to PDF functionality themselves, but they couldn't. And so they would literally, it was like part of my job that people would like send me documents to PDF, and then I would put them into a different file for them. And I was like, I was aghast. I was so aghast when I learned that. 3 months seems longer. I don't know. It's Thank you. Yeah, that was just fucking terrible. That wasn't my only job there. That wasn't even close to my only job there. But it was just one of the weirdest tasks at that job. Right? Like, and I was like, we spend a lot of money at this place. Like, this is a job where they told me when I first started, hey, here's the catalog, order what you need for office supplies. And I was like, what? Don't you have a room on site where everyone has, like, where you've got all the office supplies already? Like, yeah, but if you want anything extra, I'm like, anything extra? Well, of course I want extra stuff, but you can't fucking give me carte blanche on a stationery catalog. I ended up getting one set of Staedtler pens. They were like $20, $20+, and I used them so beautifully to take just absolutely gorgeous notes. I love those fine liner pens. But I just thought that was hilarious. It was a weird, weird place to work.
Sign orders up here, so. Ms. Sills, you've been busy today.
Yes, I have. That's okay. I fly out for Washington DC at 6 in the morning, so another little vacation coming up.
Good for you.
Humble
Enjoy.
brag.
Thank you.
Mr. Transvaal, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We need one person to get their audio. Is that her, Jennifer's iPhone? Yeah, that's her.
Jennifer's coming in clutch for us. Is she gonna vomit? She looks like she's gonna vomit. Jennifer? Jennifer? Turn on your audio, Jennifer. Turn on your audio.
Nothing yet.
Nicholas, can you hear us? Oh,
Nicholas has his.
you have to unmute.
Yes. It's on mute. but-
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay.
She's trying.
Do you say babe? I can hear you, babe. Night,
Should
Bill.
I call my client, do you think?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, she got someone helping her.
She's got a child. A small child came in to help. Can we interrupt this kindergarten class to get some help on Zoom, please? I do have a ton of post-it notes. I also, in watching the Midwest cleaning guy, oh, I miss a laminator, Sid. Dude. Oh, damn. You know what? Those sleeves where you have the sleeves and you can just put the paper in and then send it through the little laminator. Oh my God. See, why do I need that so bad? I want that. It's because I'm running a business, Paisley. You're running a business.
Yeah.
Duh. Sorry. Sometimes, like yesterday,
She's still
Colin
not
had to.
on?
Not on yet.
All right. I'll try to call her real quick.
Thank
God
you.
damn it, Jennifer. You're just fucking everything up. Laminating is up there with power washing. Oh, and Winter Witch, just keep in mind, I'm watching somebody clean it. It has not yet translated into me cleaning or decluttering fully, but it's getting there. But anyway, so Buddy, sorry, he was throwing away a printer the other day, and he literally was like, I believe this, which is
Ms.
that
Grego, can you hear the court?
Judge.
Yes, I
Oh, fucking finally, Jennifer. Well, you'll have to wait. Anyways, I truly believe that printers have not improved at all since they were made, and he agreed and it said the same thing. And he said, I got permission to throw away that white printer there, and when I did, into the dumpster, I threw it a little extra hard to watch it split apart. And I just laughed so hard. It tickles me. It just tickles me in a just lovely way.
hear you.
All right. We're good.
Court will call the case of Jennifer Grego versus Nicholas Grego. For the record, this matter is before the court for continued pretrial conference subsequent to mediation. Present for this Zoom mediation is Attorney Christina Hills, representing the plaintiff Jennifer Grego. Ms. Grego is present, and in addition, Attorney James Petrangelo is present, representing the defendant Nicholas Grego. Mr. Grego is present on audio. Ms. Hills, Mr. Petrangelo, have the parties been able to make progress toward their own agreement resolution?
We have made some, what I believe to be some substantial progress today, Your Honor. We still have a bit of work to do. I have a couple of subpoenas, which I am going to be issuing to a couple of different unions, one of which we know Mr. Grego works for, just to satisfy my client and myself that there are not other retirement benefits out there that we're unaware of. And also, there's been a proposal, which Mr. Grego has made, that my client needs a bit of time to think about. So what we did is agree to mediate again with Ms. LaPrade. Now the date's escaping me, June 27th, I believe,
Yes.
at
Yes.
8:30 or 9. And hopefully by then I should have all of that subpoenaed retirement information, and my client will have had some time to think about this proposal. And I'm certain that Mr. Petrangelo and I will have some communication in between to see what else we can resolve even in advance of mediation.
I agree with everything counsel has stated on the record.
Thank you. So you simply want to continue this pretrial conference to June 27th after the 8:30 mediation with Ms. LaPrade?
Yes, please. And we are prepared to offer proofs for the court today as well.
Okay. And if in fact there's some resolution in the interim and you cancel the mediation, there's no need for the parties to come back and appear before the court if we preserve the proofs today.
Sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor.
The court will mail out notice until we have a full resolution. Right, Ms. Grego, can you both please raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Do you both solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Grego?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Hills, if you're going to go with Ms. Grego to establish jurisdiction, there's been a breakdown and that she's not now pregnant, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Grego, would you state your name for the record, please?
Jennifer Grego?
And you are the plaintiff in this case, is that correct?
Correct.
And at the time you filed your complaint for divorce, had you been a resident of Michigan for at least 180 days?
Yes.
And of Monroe County for at least 10 days?
Yes.
Is it true that there's been a breakdown of your marriage relationship to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed and there's no reasonable likelihood that your marriage can be preserved?
Yes.
You and Mr. Grego have one minor child, Sophia, who is 14. Is that correct?
Correct.
And there were no
So
other.
if you can believe it, I have an older child than they do. That's crazy to me. Why is that so weird to me? Night. See you soon. I can't believe that. Their child is younger than my child.
Children born or adopted by you and Mr. Grego who are still minors. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And are you pregnant?
No, I'm not.
All right. Thank you. I have nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Hills. Mr. Petrangelo, do you have any questions, first of all, from Ms. Grego?
I do not.
Questions for Mr. Grego, please?
Yes, Mr. Grego, have you heard your wife's testimony today?
I have.
Is it true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
It is.
I have no other questions of my client.
Thank you, Mr. Petrangelo. Ms. Hills, do you have any questions for Mr. Grego?
None at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. The continuing mediation is 8:30 or 9 with Ms. LaPrade?
9.
9 o'clock.
9.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right. The court will mail a notice of a continued pretrial conference subsequent to the 9 a.m. mediation with Ms. LaPrade, June 27th. Mr. and Mrs. Grego, you're both represented by two very capable, skilled family law practitioners. And they're assisting you into trying to facilitate and reach your own agreement, which is, I can assure you, is far better off than having the court decide these issues. So keep an open mind and follow the advice of your capable attorneys as you continue this mediation process on June 27th. Based upon the testimony that's been presented this afternoon, as well as complaint filed in this case, court finds that jurisdiction has been established. Court further finds that there has been a breakdown of the marriage relationship to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed, and there appears to be no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved. At this point in time, the court will simply reserve all outstanding issues and schedule this matter for continued mediation, June 27th, 9 a.m. with a pretrial to follow.
Great.
If there's nothing further, that will conclude this hearing. Everyone can zoom out, have the rest of the day.
All right. Thank you very much, Your Honor, and have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you
Rob.
both.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Grego, you're done.
Yep, you too, Ms. Grego.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Grego, eh? All right. One more grumpy pants. One more grumpy man with no Folgers in his cup. Or we're going to Thurston.
And Mr. Angstrom.
I don't know what this is about either.
And Mr. Keon, and the other person for Simply Home Realty is,
Charlene.
say that again.
Charlene,
And Charlene, your last name?
Victoria.
Victoria, thank you.
Yes.
All right, three parties would raise your right hands for me. You swear that testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I swear. I just need a yes from everybody.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. There we go.
Yes. That did used to be my fake name that I used to use, Victoria. Those headphones, right? That headphone, one ear. Where are my headphones? I don't like wearing headphones very often because I like to hear everything that's going on because I'm a nosy bitch. This is small claims court. Judge, just before you get going here, can I just give a wee bit of an intro? I mean, you're not as quick as Judge, you know. Ooh, Kelly. Kelly, I like that. When I was really young, what I wanted desperately my name to be, when I was just like lamenting my life as a Paisley, you know, like just miserable going through life. I wanted to be Stacy, which is funny, but I'm sure it was from the Babysitters Club books that I was reading. But yeah, OSHA rules for the one-ear headphone, right? Ay. Okay. So small claims court, yeah, tiny dicks court, right? Yeah, so do you like those, Hector? Like, here's the thing. When I'm at the gym or running on a treadmill or like on an exercise machine, I am A-okay putting on headphones and like really zoning in. It's when it's like if I'm outside or home alone, part of me just like is on alert more, and so I don't want to be like completely not hearing. Yeah, I've read all of the Babysitter Club book, all of the Boxcar Children, all of them. Yeah. Running on purpose. Well, I do run, yes, on purpose sometimes. They're next to your ears, hey? Learning. Okay, come on, Paisley, hit play. This is long.
Angstrom has filed a claim.
I'm just gonna even say this: the movie fucking slapped, even though it was fucked. It slapped. Okay. I would still watch that movie to this day. I owned that movie on VHS. It was a yellow container. You know how a VHS container would close? Like not a sleeve, but the containers that had that weird plastic. Funny how my mind works, because I can't see that. I don't know why I know that it was yellow. I'm positive it was. But like, and I can't, I don't know. It's not clear plastic. It was like, you know the sound I'm talking about when you closed the, it was weird. Ooh.
For 3,600 for security deposit, although it looked like on the documents filed by Simply Home Realty, the security deposit was 3,550. Let's start by clarifying that, Mr. Engstrom. Is that the accurate number? Is 3,550?
That is the amount of the security deposit, Your Honor. I was looking to recoup the fee for filing as well if possible.
Yeah, okay. That we deal with that on a separate basis. So, all right.
My
So you're
apologies.
acknowledging that the deposited issue is the 3,550.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And looking at the information you had provided, it was unclear to me exactly what the nature of your claim for the return of the deposit is. It looked like it was related to an eviction action, maybe you having to pay attorney's fees to represent you in that, something like that. Is that? It's sort of what I was interpreting out of what you filed. So tell me what the basis of your claim is.
Your Honor, they owe me my security deposit and they haven't sent it to me.
Oh, so I was wondering, I was like, wait, is this dude an attorney? But I don't think he's an attorney, and he's definitely not based upon that allocution. It is way too succinct, and he didn't say thank you, Your Honor, which we know a lawyer probably would have.
I moved out.
Go ahead.
My apologies, Your Honor. I moved out of the residence on January 18th. I followed up with them on January 25th, said, hey, where are we at on this process? According to their documents or the evidence they filed, they supposedly printed the check on the 25th. According to the mediation we just had, they sent it out on the 26th. I haven't seen it. They also stated via their evidence that they printed the check for the attorney fee overpayment on the 17th of February, which is a Saturday. So they also could not have gotten that to me before that 30-day time frame, which is what I understand is required by law. I'm coming here today, Your Honor, because it's been 4 months. I haven't seen the security deposit that they have agreed that I am owed, and I'm not sure what other steps to take in order to recoup those monies at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, so, and who is Mr. Kean? Are you going to speak for Simply Home or Ms. Victoria?
I will.
Okay, so let's get right to that point. Mr. Engstrom indicates that you do agree that he's owed the return of the deposit. Is that correct?
Yes, we mailed it out to him on January 26th. We also emailed him just to let him know that he is getting a refund. He acknowledged that email. We also sent him 2 emails asking him if he's received those checks because we've noticed they haven't been cashed. Unfortunately, he didn't respond back, so we were not sure what happened, but we're more than willing to cancel those checks and reissue him new ones for the amount of $2,385.
Okay, so that's different amount than he's asking for. And did you understand that's what you were getting back is $2,385, Mr. Engstrom?
Not originally, no, Your Honor. That is a changed amount. The original amount that they offered me was 1710. At no point in time did they indicate to me that they were going to mail me an attorney's check, or for the attorney fee overpayment. That is new information as of this trial to me. Furthermore, their email that they did send, according to their evidence, on March 13th was
Okay,
not.
yeah,
Sorry, Your
okay,
Honor.
right. So I'm trying to figure out what the legal issue here is. I understand that you all have some other conversations that are going on. So from the deposit, how much do you believe you are entitled to?
The entire amount, Your Honor.
So you're looking for 3550.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And
I will say that where I live, it is required to send the deposit within a certain amount of time, or send an accounting of why you're not sending the deposit in that same amount of time. And it is a very cut and dry punishment for landlords that don't return it within the right amount of time. Yeah, it's like you get XYZ amount of money. So the thing that might save them is if they cut a check, right? If they cut the check and they can show that they have a check that's been dated for when it was written, then I don't know that they would be shown to be in bad faith. But I don't know what the rules are just over the ocean in Washington State. Yeah. But they shouldn't. It's May 17th. If they issued the check in February or in like even before that, that doesn't make it that doesn't like it just seems so silly to me that they wouldn't just send if they're not disputing that they owe him the money. It's going to cost them more money to fight this lawsuit and deal with this than it would be to just send the money properly or deposit it into a bank account. Like, it's so odd to me. But again, in Canada, we have a lot, like 5 major banks. And so you could walk into almost any bank. Like, if you know somebody's account number, you can walk in and deposit money on almost any city in Canada, and it'll be in their account right away. And a check goes stale dated in Canada after 6 months. And in fact, the only exception to that would be government issued checks, which don't stale date, at least here.
Ms. Victoria, you were prepared to send 2385, and that's based, the reduction is, let me check your evidence. I was looking through it before.
Presented.
Judge Buffers. Also, in Canada, at least, anything can be a check as long as it has the right encoding information on the bottom. So you can write a check on a piece of toilet paper if you wanted. You could write it on an envelope. And I have taken checks written on plain paper. I have taken checks written on receipts. Yeah.
All right, so in your move out settlement statement, you are deducting around 1,600 something. You're deducting a late fee and you're deducting two issues related to an eviction. So what's the story on the eviction? Was Mr. Angstrom actually evicted?
So he decided in November and December to hold back his rent for his own personal reasons. He hired two attorneys, and they told him that he was incorrect, and that he does owe us rent. And he called us and said that, we're right. I'd like to pay everything in full to stop evictions. That's what we did. And then in January, he paid his rent late, which incurred additional late fees. And so the attorney billed us 1,610, and that's the email communication I have in there showing that we're confirming that, is this the correct amount? Because this is what we paid to you guys. We didn't receive a refund check for overpayment. They said, yes, that is the correct amount. Then a little bit later, we found out, we got a call that they did incorrect billing. They issued us a refund. We let Justin know that it was an overpayment. They gave us a refund, and then we issued him that refund check. So in total, he would have 1,710 for security deposit refund, and then the 675 for the overpayment of attorney bill.
Okay, so like
Nowhere here takes checks anymore. Absolutely nowhere. Because it just takes too long to process and there's too much lag time. You cannot pay with checks anywhere. All of my experience, you have to remember, I worked at a bank from the early 2000s, pre-recession, what I like to call the golden age of banking in Canada. At least it was at the time. It was a fucking amazing. Just loans left and right. I mean, I was like a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, and I was like getting people lines of credits and credit cards, and I, by the end of it, I was the head teller at one of the largest banks in our town, and I would be dealing with millions of dollars every day, every single day. So what that did, unfortunately, is made money really like large sums of money don't mean much to me. Like it means much, but I'm used to seeing lots of cash that I don't get. It's like, oh, it's not that very cool. It's not very cool. Here you can do, oh, Streamlabs, get off my lawn. Good night, loud. Here you can do, no. I've told the story before. I lost $10,000 when I worked at the bank. We could not find it. We literally searched high and low. The work from that day was so tattered from so many people looking it over, trying to find the error, because generally it's an error. It's a typographical error that you've made, or oftentimes a reversion of numbers when you're typing them in. And so $10,000 doesn't usually just go missing all the time, but it had gone missing. And I didn't realize at the time, but I was very lucky. I was dating the vice president's son, and he, I guess that saved me my job. I don't know. I don't think that I would have been fired anyways, but they, we couldn't find the money. So 3 months went by, 4 months, like the quarter ended, and we had to like write off this money. We were like, we have to write off this $10,000 loss. Like, we don't, like, normally when you work at a bank, you can, there's a lot of accounts. There's a lot of places that things can go. So, until the time comes when you have to account for everything, there's a lot of moving things around you can do until you figure shit out. And so, but the quarter came around. It's like, we have to report this. We have to write this off. And then the dude came around to reset the time lock safe. So at the bank, you have a drop safe that is set for 5 minutes. And that way, if somebody comes in to rob you, most of your money is in a time lock and they're not going to wait around for 5 minutes. And so when the dude was resetting my time lock, he's like, what the heck is this? And behind it, so there was $100 bills that had dropped behind where the safe was. So I had put it down there. And then they found it like months later. And I was like, I fucking told you that I didn't lose it. Oh, I was ecstatic that day. It was like I had won $10,000. Banks, maybe, I don't know. I'll tell you, at a branch level, at an employee level, they don't think it like that. They think it like, you've cost us money and time and fucking work because you fucked up. So even on the larger scale, yes, like I'm sure banks write off losses all the time on a grand scale, but at a very micro level, at a branch, they are not interested in people losing money very much. They are very much against that, in fact, which is weird because they allow like big wigs to make losses and gains and all that kind of stuff, but at a branch level, it's sort of different. That was really the only time I ever lost that much money. I mean, you lose money all the time, but that was like the biggest amount. And then we found it after that. And then it became an implemented protocol. And this is what I said. And this is why, like, I was a sort of corporate girly, even though I was a teenager. I remember saying to my boyfriend's dad, I went home and I said, hey, Jim, we found the fucking $10,000. And he, of course, had heard me talking about this for months. And I said, you wouldn't believe where it was. We've got to rewrite the teller manual, because when somebody's out now, you have to check the back of the safe. Like, we would never have thought to check there, but now we have to check there. And so, again, like, that's just the way that I am. But I made them implement the new rule. They got to check the backs of the safe. I don't think you understand what I mean when they like wrote it off. Writing it off doesn't mean that it was free. Writing it off means they have to account for it. So instead of it sitting as a debit number in a bank account that is, you can make infinite bank accounts in the computer system. You have to understand that. And the only thing that says if money's in that bank account is numbers on a computer. Right? A banking system is rife for abuse if you're not careful. Absolutely rife for abuse. Rife? I think that's correct. Anyway, shut up, Paisley. Let's keep watching. The bank here is a like billions upon $billion industry. And the specific bank that I worked for was like a bill, like multiple billions. CIBC, like the branch level write-offs would have been like even small. Like that was small compared to what the whole branch is writing off. But also what they're earning. You know what I mean? Like, you also sometimes have too much money. Like, those are even worse days when you're sitting there and you're like, I'm over. Because that means you forgot to put money into somebody's account, or you forgot to take the bill that they paid. So you don't have the stub. And this is before online bill payments. So you'd actually have the stub of a bill, and at the bottom it's encoded just like a check. And that's one reason you might be out. But you shouldn't be. You ought to be careful. That's why I loved being a bank teller, because it was like a game every single day to balance.
Like I said at the beginning, very rarely do we contemplate attorney's fees in small claim cases. So I need to understand, what are we talking about here on attorney's fees? Is attorney's fees paid by Simply Home or attorney's fees paid by Mr. Engstrom?
So the attorney fees have to be, for that to start, we have to pay, the owner has to pay the attorney. And then once that gets settled, then the tenant reimburses us for that. According to his lease.
Okay, so you're arguing to me that there's a obligation in the lease that if the owner, or in this case, the manager, Simply Home Realty, is going to pursue eviction, that the tenant pays the attorney's fees for that process, and you bill them on their deposit retention statement for that cost. Is that accurate?
Yes, he's required to reimburse the owner.
For collection expenses.
Right, okay. Okay, so
Judge is like, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible
if I
deal.
take out all the attorney's fees, how much, if you're not entitled to 1 penny of attorney's fees in this small claim action, how much deposit do you owe Mr. Engstrom? Take out any deduction for attorney's fees.
So calculator.
Just the late
It would-
fee in that.
So he would just.
So the
owe-
only thing, it looks to me like here, the only thing would be the $230 late fee for January rent.
Yes,
Other than that, there's no other claim on here against the deposit. Am I correct about that?
that's right.
Okay. And do you have any dispute about the January late fee, Mr. Engstrom?
Only that the late fee was purely because, one, they turned off the ability for me to pay online, Your Honor. And two, I was late because I didn't understand the additional attorney fee that they were charging me at the time. The late fee is because they dropped another $1,000 bill without prior warning on the same day rent was due, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that an exceptionally small child? It is. Ugh. I hate this judge sometimes.
And Mr. Engstrom, what's your argument as to whether you were obligated on the attorney's fees provision?
There's two sets of attorney's fees, Your Honor. One is the retainer, one is the actual eviction process. They overbilled me. I said in the emails, hey, this isn't how attorney bills worked. He should have taken the retainer out of, or the retainer should have gone towards the total amount. We went back and forth a little bit on that. Obviously, they got a call back from the attorney saying, hey, this is actually an over payment. Furthermore, according to, as Charlene just stated, once the attorney fee is settled, you're supposed to come out of the reimbursement. The issue is not settled, and they still charge me for the attorney fees, Your Honor. Furthermore, the eviction process, if we're going to get into the weeds a little bit, Your Honor, was not for personal reasons. It was because Simply Home Realty failed to maintain the property to a safe standard, including failure to maintain the property to some of Thurston County Public Safety's sanitary requirements. Unfortunately, they don't have any punitive actions. And I proceeded with how I would have taken things legally for the state of Maine. I was under the very ignorant impression that things would be a little bit more similar. They were not. Schilling stated when I did get a hold of my own attorneys, they said, hey, you've already goobered this. This isn't going to work for you anymore. You've sunk your own case. Go ahead and pay up, which I did at that time. Ultimately, however, Your Honor, it's 4 months and they still haven't sent me either check.
See, he's a businessman or a salesperson, but not an attorney. And no offense, my bud, but obviously not super bright. If you legitimately didn't even look into how evictions work in the place that you're living, and you just went via Maine, which isn't even, is it close? I don't even think it's close. Are they on the other side of the country from that? That seems very odd. Super very odd. Super very odd.
Okay,
Maybe
so
he's a gamer.
when you moved out on the 18th of January, that was this year, I'm assuming.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you give 30 days notice? Were you on month to month? Tell me what the status of the lease agreement at that point was.
They were well aware of the fact that I was not going to be continuing the lease at that time, Your Honor. That was a standard 1-year lease.
Okay, all right. So it looks like the lease expired on the 18th of January and you moved out on that date. So that was the expiration of the lease. You didn't move out pursuant to an eviction order.
Correct, Your Honor. This was a move out due to the
Okay.
expiration of the lease.
All right. And Simply Home is relying on paragraph 25, discussing tenant's responsibility for attorney's fees when if the in this case landlord is the prevailing party in the legal action. Is that correct?
Yes, and then Justin never gave us a proper 20-day written notice. But we actually let him vacate the home as it'd be beneficial for both parties.
Okay, but the lease was up on that day, right? So he didn't need to give you 20-day notice. The lease was up. He
It's
hadn't renewed.
required by the RCW that they're required to give 20 days written notice before the end of their term.
Okay.
It's stated in that the lease as well. So he has the option to renew for 12 months, or if he chooses to not renew, he goes into month-to-month holdover, or he can give 20 days written notice.
Hey, Mr. Angstrom, did you provide the written notice?
I did well in advance, Your Honor. That is not part of the evidence. However, I can scrounge that up for you if you wish.
What did you do? Just tell me what you did.
It was either email or text, Your Honor. I don't recall which. It would take me a minute to find it. But I let them, it would have been like closer to 4 or 5 months ahead of time. That's when the issues really started to get aggravated, Your Honor.
Okay.
"20 days seems weird, but is well in advance of 20 days still count? I don't know."
And then, Your Honor, regarding the late fees for January,
Yes.
January 6th fell on Saturday, so we gave a convenience until January 8th on Monday to issue the 14 days and turn off online payment access. Justin perceived he didn't have online access, which he did. And if he felt that he didn't, he was able to drop a check off as well. Because we didn't turn it off until the 8th when we gave him a 14-day to pay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, Hector. You guys make sure to check out Hector's channel. It is linked on the page. Hey, Mom. Come on, judge. You are so slow. Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, we're back and forth. Here we go. Wellness check on Zed. Wellness check on Zed. I have a feeling that Zed's just fine. Talking in code, maybe. Come on, judge. I'm suddenly struck with hunger. What does everybody want to eat right now? I saw this really cute thing where this kid planted sesame seeds off of his burger bun in hopes that it would grow a cheeseburger tree. Oh, I would love a cheeseburger tree.
And Mr. Engstrom, how did you serve Simply Home Realty?
I had them served through Thurston County Sheriff's Department, Your Honor. I do have their receipt document somewhere that I'm happy to provide.
I don't see it in the file. So how much did you pay for that?
I paid $60 for their service, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judgy, what do you think the verdict's going to be?
All right. This is a claim for return of a security deposit. Everybody agrees the deposit paid was $3,550. And to this date, although there have been attempts to return a portion of that, Mr. Engstrom has not received anything, and Simply Home acknowledges no checks have been cashed. The issue now is, what is Mr. Engstrom entitled to, because he's not at this point received anything. Looking at the statement prepared by Simply Home Realty concerning the basis for the retention of part of the deposit, there are three bases set forth in your form. And first of all, I want to compliment you on that form. This is the best landlord form I've seen for a move-out settlement statement. So it's really well designed, and it's very easy for somebody like me who has to evaluate these things to look at and understand. So it's an excellent form. I want to let you know that.
Wow. First of all, we just found Judge's little kinky fetish. He's a form guy. He just sounded excited about that. I've never heard him say something like that before. Oh my God, this is so weird.
Thank you.
So in this form, and the law requires notice to the tenant within 30 days of the basis for the retention of any portions of the deposit and any evidence supporting that. And there are three deductions noted on here, two of which are for attorney's fees and one of which is for late fee for the month of January. I read the attorney's fee provision in the lease, and it does make a reference to small claims action even though the statute doesn't authorize attorneys to appear in small claims cases. It's an attempt, I guess, to maybe circumvent that. And I don't mean circumvent in an illegal way, just to make the argument that, hey, we should be able to get attorney's fees in small claim case. Here, what it says is, in the event it is necessary for either party to employ an attorney to enforce any terms of this agreement, the prevailing party shall be entitled to its costs. The agreement is, there's nothing in here that's being enforced from my standpoint. I understand that there were things going on back and forth, but Mr. Angstrom left at the last day of his one-year lease. There is some dispute as to whether he gave appropriate notice, but based on the evidence I've seen in the files, it's pretty clear to me the parties were aware that Mr. Angstrom was leaving. There was not an eviction. He wasn't formally served with anything that I know of here. And if there was an eviction, the attorney's fees have to be sought as part of the eviction process in Superior Court, not as part of a subsequent small claim action to enforce that provision of the contract. So this would not be a way to go about getting attorney's fees. And folks using, businesses using attorneys, and the lease also looks well written. I assume the attorney was involved in doing that. So it's a well-written lease, but the request for attorney's fees is inappropriate in this court's opinion, and not something that Simply Home Realty is entitled when somebody is exiting the premises on the last day of their one-year lease. So there is no basis for me to grant the request for attorney's fees, and I will deny that. Thus, I will find the only thing basis for retention of the deposit is the $230 late fee for January. I don't find Mr. Angstrom's reasons for not paying January rent on time persuasive. So I will find that he does owe the late fee for the January rent, meaning that Mr. Angstrom is entitled to a return of the deposit in principal on $3,320. I will add in the $60 service fee and the $50 filing fee. And that leaves a judgment for Mr. Angstrom in the amount of $3,430 as a partial, almost complete return of the deposit in this case.
Your Honor.
I've signed that judgment order, and copies will be available to the parties in your file.
Your Honor.
All right. Yes.
The eviction was for November, not January, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. Yeah. And, people occasionally try to get their eviction attorney fees in small claims. And I say, if you want to get eviction attorney's fees for eviction, if you file the eviction, you have to get it in Superior Court where you're pursuing the action. If somebody prepares an eviction notice and, is part of a, approach to a tenant, say, we're going to evict you if you don't do this or that, that's just the cost of doing business. And I don't see that as a basis for me to award attorney's fees in a case like this. So I just don't see that there's a basis for me to enter any attorney's fees. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure Steven just picked his nose. Oh my God. You guys, it's been almost 2 hours. I think that's a good stopping point for us today. We will have a show tomorrow. It's Saturday. I'll try and have a premiere as well. And then remember, Sunday is going to have a fun day. I thought that was a good ruling. I think that was a good ruling. That company seems a little dodgy. Just a little on the dodge side. You know what I mean? Like a bit of a Dodge Durango. Anyways, it is a shirt. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate it. It is what is fondly referred to as my Minnie Mouse shirt around here. Yeah, a lot of shady shit goes down in Thurston County. yeah, let's have a good evening, everybody. And remember that I love you. I am proud of you. And I will see you in the next video.